Howdy YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Gunman Raw. So today we're going to be doing the base coat on this Honda ZRV. I did a masking video on this earlier this morning, so you've potentially already seen that. Just shooting the breeze, masking the car up, and obviously now I've just got to put these little bits of foam tape inside the door handles and yeah, give it a tack rag. I've already prep sold it. This is actually one of my boss's cars. It's one of our loan cars. Provide a pretty good service here. If you guys ever do get in an accident and you're in the Melbourne area and you want Gunny to paint your car, shoot us an email, thegunmanraw@gmail.com. I'll get you in contact with my boss and we'll take it from there. But yeah, like I say, we provide loan cars, and if you want a respray done too, let us know. Might have to get another bit of this. I like to spin them around but have the sticky bit on the outside so that when you put it in there it stays with those bits of foam there. Yeah, pretty straightforward job. A few chips down on that door too. There was a scratch on this rear bumperette, and there was two little dents there and a few just chips and scratches on these two doors. So I'm stepping away gradually from the PPG OneVisit. I'm gonna sort of use it on the bigger jobs like resprays. It does make for a better job on some accounts, but sort of blending and yeah, I just think it changes the colors. It makes it sort of harder to get rid of the mottle, I've noticed. I did actually do this exact same color last year with the OneVisit, and I think I would have been better off not using it. So look, I might still give it, yeah, I've done it a few times. I did it on my own car and it come up pretty good, but I did have to resort to adding a few extra coats, which kind of killed the purpose of the OneVisit. If you got to wait for it to dry and then add more coats, it's not a OneVisit. But yeah, today I've actually I've cracked the GoPro out of the case, so you're probably noticing things a little bit louder. Hopefully my voice is a bit clearer, but I don't know about that airline. That could be deafening for all I know, but we'll see. Tell me if the audio is a little bit better or if it's worse than usual. I'm not going to be leaving it out of its case to clear coat because it's just going to get, you know, absolutely caked in overspray, but I'll see how it goes for base coat and masking. Yeah, you can probably hear my voice a bit clearer. I'll show you the case that I used to have it in. And like I say, I do need it in that case for, I can't remember, did I take correct that? I don't know. It's too early in the day to remember things. Half of what we do is just acting on autopilot. For me anyway, it's got its pros and cons. Yeah, so that's what I've usually got it sitting in, right? So there is actually a microphone here. So I've drilled on the camera itself, of course. So I drilled a hole in there, and there's one there too, that's right. So that must be the stereo, I guess. But yeah, I've cracked that out of the case, so hopefully you can hear a little bit better. But yeah, let us know. Interested to hear. You may just say go back to the normal one because like the airline and that is too loud. And on the other hand, it might not even make any difference. 2 bar for this. So when I'm doing my base coat color, a lot of the time I'll just wear my half mask because waterboarding's not as bad for you as the clear coat. And then I'll whack my full air-fed mask on when I'm putting clear on. I'm just going to put this
base coat blender over the whole panel. I'm going to be blending what here. The colour's pretty good, but I still want to blend it. DV1 baby, still the best base coat gun in my books. DV1 B 1.3. Can't go past it, man. 20 psi, full fluid. First coat, you just want to get a bit of coverage. Just going over those stone chips. There was a couple more here and there. Little cut through. That's where that base coat blender helps. You can see your cut throughs better because it's like one uniform sort of colour. This one, there was a chip up here, that's right. I just want to keep that colour tight where possible. So that's it, that's it.
Like I like to put that first coat on like a little bit heavier than the next few coats. So it's like heavier and then lighter with the standard 3-coat system in Envirobase. So my rule of thumb has always been you want to get coverage after your second coat, right? And then your last coat is more of an effect coat, so to speak. It's more just to make the metallic look right. Yeah. What you can do with these kind of colors, and what I do often, is I'll wind that fluid in just an extra half a turn on the last coat. But yeah, what I used to do was, yeah, it's quite different now. I've sort of made it a bit more simple. I used to have more pressure, like I think I'd start at 30 on the first coat, and then I'd drop it down to 25, and then go in half a turn, right? So you go half a turn, 5 psi, and then on the third coat, come in another half a turn and drop it another 5 psi. But these days I just do it 20 psi each coat, and then maybe just on the last coat I'll wind it in half, and that's been working for me. But then if I do seem to get like a little bit more mottled, I'll even just drop that pressure down a little bit more and do an extra drop coat. But I've got the booth up to 30 degrees, so as you can see, it's drying down pretty nicely. You know, we've started to get coverage over those bits. I would imagine the next coat we should be pretty well covered. And then we put that last coat on like I mentioned before, so yeah, looking good. And this is, I guess this is where another thing I'm coming at with the not using the OneVisit is, you know, when you crank the booth up to 30 degrees and, you know, you just blow a little bit of air gently over the panel, it really doesn't take that long to dry. Whereas when you're doing the OneVisit, you pump it on so heavy, it takes so long to dry. You've got such a wet film on that of base coat, and it's obviously water-based, so water takes longer to dry than any solvent would. So you're kind of forced to bake it out. I find like some low pressure blowing with the spray gun, a lot of the time it's all you need. Like, you don't have to get the big air blower, which can, not always, but can often blow more dust in than it's worth. So sort of robbing Peter to pay Paul. It saves me a couple of minutes here, but the poor detailer out there's got all these nibs to get out of it. That looks about ready now, so yeah, pressure's all good.
That's covered. That looks covered too. Little cut through on that door handle. These Hondas are bad for not putting enough clear on. That's covered now. Look, that all looks covered, so that'll be fine for us to go and put our drop coat on. I did blow dust into that panel inadvertently. It's exactly what I was talking about. Little bits of dust.
Yeah, so on this job here, like that was the only quoted damage, but there was all these stone chips down here. I can't just paint over them unless it's like a real tricky color, and in which case I would be screaming for blends. So now the color was good. It blends pretty easy too. It's a fine metallic, this one, so I've found that it's generally the coarser metallics which you'll have more issues with blending and coverage and stuff like that. But as you can see, like that's basically dried instantly, right? There's a little bit of a nib in that base coat here. Sometimes they can sort of partly disappear when you dry them down sometimes. I can barely see it anymore. There is something there, but yeah, like I say, you know, so doing it this way, the 3-coat system, how fast did that dry, right? So I've got the booth up to 30 degrees. By the time I go out, clean that base coat gun out, mix up some more clear, that's gonna be the best part of 5 minutes. That's ready to clear. You don't have to bake it. Like, I guess it's actually, if you wanna go there, like more environmentally friendly, you know, because you're using less energy, low emissions, whatever you wanna say. Yeah, I wanna put an extra duster over there. Nah, that's gone. Okay, I was gonna sort of sand it out if I need to, or even just try wiping it out, but we'll come back to that because we just put a coat on. We will, sometimes I drop the pressure down just a basic for that last coat, that drop coat, and I forgot to wind that fluid in.
It's still a little bit wet.
You can see like it looks mottly until you dry it and it just disappears.
I'll come back to that because it's not quite dry yet. This side is though. It's a little bit tight here with that blend, but it would have been you would have had a good case to just blend that guard, but whatever. Looking good. I'm happy with that.
So that's it guys, like I say, best base coat gun in the business if you ask me, the DV1 B Plus 1.3. Absolutely love it. Spray guns direct, if you want to get yourself one, that's where I always get my spray guns from. Even this one here, this is an old classic, so that's a GTI Pro, not Pro Light. Gunman edition, obviously that was very limited. I think they only made about 15 of them. This is one of them, so hopefully we'll get another Gunman edition made at some point in the future. But that's about it guys. I'll give you a quick close-up look at this job here. It's still not dry of course, so it's got, you can see that it's still wet there, so it's definitely going to dry down better than that. But yeah, happy days guys. Be sure to tune in for the next video. We're going to be doing the clear coat on it. I'm actually going to be using the 105 clear because we have some, I just want to use it up. So yeah, in that video I'll give you guys a quick look over the base coat when it's dry. I'm not staying around here for another 5 minutes just to watch paint dry. Excuse me for that. Anyway, until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Gunman out.